This December, world leaders will gather in Copenhagen for the most important climate change talks in history. In the first of a series of special reports, CAFOD partners and climate experts explain why the impact of climate change on developing countries is a matter of justice, and why we must act now to limit the damage caused by a changing climate.
En los últimos 10 años, nuestras campesinas y campesinos no tienen los mismos cantidades de cosecha. El cambio climático es un asunto de vida o muerte para nuestras campesinas y campesinos.
And we've seen people who are very vulnerable, like school children, actually being affected by floods to the extent that they are unable to go to school because most of them normally walk to school, especially in the rural areas that are affected by climate change.
Of Mumbai stays in slums.
When we say that the impacts of climate change will affect those who are most vulnerable, but that's only half the story. It's also the most vulnerable who are not creating the problem. You know, they're impacted the most, but they are not the creators of the problem. The South doesn't trust the North in many ways because commitments that have been made in the past have never really been kept, whether they are financial commitments or commitments related to emissions reductions.
We in the developed world, it seems to me, have to accept our responsibilities. Our responsibilities historically for carbon emissions. Our responsibility in that we are emitting much more than the developing world.
Climate change is a major threat to people in developing countries. Climate change really threatens all of the progress that we've made in terms of tackling poverty. Campaigning in particular is important because I think governments, they know the solutions to climate change. We know what we need to do to address it, but we just need to put that pressure on so that our governments really start to act and act urgently.
We should not be happy when some other people in other parts of the world are suffering the consequences of our way of life. We're talking about big things, and therefore I think it's imperative for all of us to get involved.